Hello! Currently modifying my goggles too because these are just too expensive for me and I really want to get my hands on one of those Integras which have less features on them. So I'm going to have to remove a few first, but watch the video and we'll discuss why. If you've been considering getting a Dji Avata but found it that a little bit too expensive, you're in luck now because Dji have just released a new Explorer combo which will set you back £150 less than before and will give you the same drone but a slightly different stripped down version of the goggles and a different controller, in fact a better controller. So let's discuss who this would be for, who probably doesn't need this kind of combo, and let's get straight into it. So Dji have done it again. They've done the same with the Mavic 3 and bring out the Mavic 3 Classic. They've done it with the Mini 3 Pro and bring out the Mini 3 and the Mini 2. Pretty much any product they bring out nowadays will be stripped down about half a year later to something a little bit less fancy, a little bit cheaper to make it more accessible to a broader market. Because Dji won't rest until every man, woman, child and their dog has a drone. But that's not a bad thing. So let's have a little chat about what you're going to get with this new Explorer combo. So you're going to get the same Dji Avata drone. There's no change to this. You can buy this on its own for £500 with a battery. The thing where things get different are the controller and the goggles. So let's have a quick chat about the goggles first. So the goggles you're going to get are the Dji Goggles Integra. And basically this is a stripped down version of the Goggles 2. So the shell of the Integra goggles looks very, very similar to this. It doesn't seem to be the same, but it's very similar. And what you're losing are the following. You are going to lose the touch control panel on this side. So that works a bit like a computer's touchpad. You are losing wireless streaming functions, the dot matrix display on this side, which basically displays your channel number, the speaker, and the 3.5mm audio port. All of those have been removed in order to make this a little bit cheaper. The other and probably most significant thing that's been removed are the adjustable diopter of knobs under here, which allow you to adjust the diopter of each screen that you're looking at. And that's great for people that have prescriptions, or also if you're switching from one person to another and people have different prescriptions, different glasses, you can quickly change these to suit that person. That's a very nice feature. Both my children have different strengths of glasses. I don't need glasses, so when we switch from one to the other, I can quickly change that and make it suit them. With the Goggles Integra, you get a set of replaceable inserts instead. And I think you get about 11 of them, so it's pretty much every strength that what most people might need is catered for, and then you just insert those inserts in order to cater for your prescription. So taking a look at the Dji Goggles Integra, so I've already discussed that you're losing the touch display here. Instead of those, you're going to get a little joystick on top of the camera, and that'll allow you to navigate your menus and your settings and things in the goggles. So really the technology inside this seems to be the same, it's just more the shell and a few bits and pieces have been removed from it. The thing that gets interesting is that you actually get a big fat battery attached to the back of the goggle strap. And this also has a twistable thing here which probably allows you to tighten or loosen the strap accordingly. That's a nice feature because that's what you have on things like cycling helmets, and it does work very well. The battery itself claims to be 2 hours, so that will be longer than the batteries included with these goggles, and it's more convenient because with these you have this kind of battery and you basically attach it and then you have to keep these in your pocket, or you can, some people attach them manually to the back of the strap as well. But if you don't modify this, you would just have to put this in your pocket and it dangles around, which is a bit of a nuisance. I mean, not a bad thing to live with, but that's just kind of how the system works with the Goggles 2. So there is that kind of one improvement with the Goggles Integra apart from the lower price. You get a nice big battery pack included on the strap, but a few things you're losing. So the diopter is probably going to be the most significant. I can't see the joystick being an issue for anyone, and I've never found myself looking at this because I'm normally flying. So there you go. As far as the controller is concerned, with the standard combo packs, you used to get one of these. So that's the Dji motion controller. So this controller's had a bit of a rocky start. Dji first released this for the Dji FPV drone, and I don't think it was particularly popular. I reckon they probably had a surplus of these, which is why they've been selling this as a mandatory kind of part of the Dji Avata packs. I think even with the Avata packs, people started to warm up to these a bit more, and that's probably because people had to use them. There was a lot of reports of people using this and claiming, well, actually, didn't like it to start with, but it's actually good fun. So it's starting to grow on people, but it's one of these things which is a good gimmick, a good bit of fun for someone who hasn't been flying FPV drones before, but you'll soon want to use one of these, which is a better way a more flexible way to fly FPV drones. But they are good fun. They are very, very good fun, and it's very intuitional. And for someone who has never flown an FPV drone, this will be the way to maybe get them started and give them a kind of a feel for what it's like. But the thing with this is it's essentially only a 3-channel controller. You have a throttle, you have what's essentially a yaw axis, and an elevator. You've got no way to control your ailerons like you would with a normal controller. So this is where the new DJI Motion Controller 2 gets quite interesting, because it's got a few extra features and it is a bit more expensive as well. But if we go and have a look at the section for that. So the DJI RC Motion 2 has a few new features. First one is that it's got a sticky outy thing on the trigger, which allows you to fly backwards. Don't know if it's a good idea to get newcomers flying backwards with FPV drones, but there you go, you'll be able to do that. And you have a control, like a joystick on top of the controller as well. So apparently this will allow you to fly more dynamically, perhaps elect as kind of like an aileron control. So as well as controlling your yaw like this, you'll be able to control your aileron as well. So you'll be able to do like a strafing sort of sideways type sort of flight, maybe do orbits and those kind of things a bit more easily. So really what they're doing is kind of closing the gap between this and this, so allow you to do a lot of the things that you were able to do with the DJI RC, and kind of expand that onto the motion controller. The controller is £159, so it's about £40 more than the previous one was. But if you did buy one of these at release and you're now thinking, well, that's a lot of rubbish because now you can get a better one, fear not, because if you check your inboxes, you should find a £60 or whatever that is in dollars, probably about $70 worth voucher, which you can redeem against a new Motion Controller 2 and get that money off it, and then get the latest and greatest, so you won't be losing out. But that pretty much sums that up. So it's a very quick video, just run through what you're getting. Now, who is this for? Well, if you've already got a DJI Avata and you have the goggles too, there's no point getting this. You're not getting anything extra, anything better, unless you really like that new battery pack. I'm hoping that DJI might release that same kind of battery pack option to expand onto the goggles too. That would be very, very nice. I can't see why they shouldn't be able to, because it's just a normal strap. There's nothing special about it. That would be nice. As far as the controller and everything, the goggles 2 are pretty much as good as you want at the moment. The controller 2, yes, there's some sense in upgrading it, but again, if you've got the Avata already, you'll be able to use that voucher. Yes, you've got to pay money again, but if it's worth it to you, then you can get it. If you don't have an Avata yet and you look to get into the hobby, which one do you go for? Do you go for the goggles 2 or the Integral goggles? I would say if you're in a position where you're switching goggles between different people a lot and you all wear different prescriptions, the goggles 2 are probably a better option. If you really just don't mind spending a little bit extra and getting the best, I would still insist the goggles 2 are the better goggles compared to the Integra. But in terms of the kind of flying performance and the kind of experience that you're getting, you're not really missing out on the Integra if you're trying to save a bit of money and you want to go for the Explorer combo. So that wraps up the video for today. Like I said, just a very quick one, just to run through this new combo and what you get for it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because it helps the channel. I might be looking to get my hands on one of the new motion controllers too, because it does look quite neat, and it'd be interesting to see if that'll entice me to use the motion controller more than the normal controller. For now, I'll still be using this one though, because I've used this once or twice and it's just a fancy paperweight, so I'll put that to one side for now. But yeah, that wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very soon.